Hey Curtis,
Hey Oz.
what are we watching this week?
We're watching Men in Black meets Django Unchained, a little
Okay.
bit of Much Ado About Nothing, and a whole lot of Slapshot.
Oh,
This
I see
week
what you
we're yeah, that's what I did. This week we're watching
did.
Wild Wild West.
Yeah, slap shot.
I'm really proud of myself for that movie,
You
man.
should be. That was a
Yeah,
good one. That was a
yeah.
good one. That was a good one.
I'm
Welcome back,
gonna take the
listeners.
rest of the episode off, Oz.
Fair enough, because
Yeah, I've done my work.
yeah, we'll try to flush this turd over the next hour or so.
Uh-huh.
Welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk About Flicks, the weekly podcast where we satisfy a monthly theme. I'm one of your hosts, Oz.
I am the other host, Curtis.
And I want to make sure we start the show on a highlight by recognizing our Patreon subscribers, Don S., Aaron A., and ADK. Thank you guys for stopping in, and this is the opportunity for you guys to go ahead and leave, because we're going to kick off Bad Movies About TV Shows month.
Yes,
New
month!
Kicking off June.
It's
New
a new
month,
month, Oz.
And this is the month of the year where we just collectively punch ourselves in the groin.
It is, yes.
And even more so because we chose, hey, it's a 5-week month. Let's punish ourselves.
It's a 5-weeker, so let's go with 5 bad movies about TV shows.
5 bad movies. Yeah.
Again, there's no qualifier for TV shows. It could be a good show or a bad show. That's not the point.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's
Who cares
not the
about the show? This is a movie podcast. So yeah, we're going to kick it off with this stinker, Wild Wild West. Now, we can say that right up front pre-rating because, again, the theme of the month is bad movies based on TV shows.
This is supposed to be bad, so you can't blame us.
So it's like the only time any of you out there in listener land would get upset if you're just like, Wild Wild West isn't a bad movie. Like they're gonna get angry that we covered it this month.
Well, I mean, even Will Smith has said that this is his greatest career regret,
which is rough because there's a lot in there.
Yeah, and he turned down The Matrix to do this movie.
Right.
He would have been Neo, Mr. Anderson.
Oops.
In The Matrix, and instead he's Jim West in the Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What a turd of a movie this is.
But hey, at least Cisco and Drew Hill got paid.
That's true. Wicka.
Big Will, Drew Hill.
Wild Wild West.
I miss those. I really love that era of like late 90s, 2000s hip hop where like the early 90s had it where they would always tell you what year they're in. Oh yeah, Naughty by Nature coming back in 1992. It's like I love it, but I love this era of hip hop.
You could set your clock to that.
Yeah, exactly. It's 3:16 in the afternoon. Like
mountain time, because we're here in Denver.
Don't forget to pick your kids up in 45 minutes. Like, what a poignant line in this song!
Wow, this is a really helpful song.
But I love this era of hip hop where the artists would they would write the lyrics of their name and the producers that were also in the song, because like Will Smith threw out Drew Hill, you had Biggie throwing out Puff Daddy quite a bit, and we can't forget Nelly throwing out Murphy Lee. Murphy Lee was a big one of the Nelly. Nelly's playing the State Fair this year.
Wow,
Nelly. Not all in the same night, but Nelly, Tim McGraw is playing the State Fair. Alanis Morissette's playing the State Fair.
Wow, Alanis.
Yeah. But yeah, I like that era of of course Lil Jon was in a lot of the so what. But no, I do like that era of hip hop where they gave shout outs in their songs to the producers that they worked with. So
all of Will Smith's songs from this era sounded exactly the same.
They
were all like the same tempo.
Yep. Yep.
Here comes the man in black.
It is the Wild Wild West.
Exactly. Welcome to Miami. Just rolls off the
I
tongue.
love the summertime.
Big Willie style.
Yeah. But yeah, Wild Wild West. Oh man, we're totally avoiding just getting to
Oh
this
yeah, we are.
movie.
We're completely avoiding.
Yeah, like look at the time. Maybe we should do like the dude, where's my car at the drive up window where their voices crack, or was that Wayne's somewhere where they're cracking out like, oh what, I can't hear you, and then they drive away from the drive because it's over. All right, this is your plot week.
It is my plot, so you got the characters, my friend.
You did this to us.
I did. This was all me. I willingly chose Wild Wild West.
You big willingly chose.
I did.
All right, so I'm going to get to the cast of this movie.
What a cast!
What a cast! We've got
it's seriously what a cast.
It really is. Yeah. I'm sure on paper they were excited. Like, oh, this is going to be solid. So you got big Willie style. Mr. Pinkett Smith is playing Captain James T. Jim West. He's a desperado, as he tells you in the opening line to his song.
Also captain of the Enterprise.
He is. So so Will Smith is U.S. Army Captain Jim West. His partner in crime,
sure,
but not really, because they're good guys.
Begrudging partner.
Yeah, they're the Murtaugh to his Riggs. I guess he would be the Murtaugh to Kevin Kline's Riggs. But Kevin Kline plays U.S. Marshal Artemus Gordon, but he also cameos as Ulysses S. Grant.
Mm-hmm.
We have Kenneth Branagh playing the bad guy, Dr. Arliss Loveless.
Yeah.
And Kenneth Branagh cannot do anything with subtlety.
Oh,
nothing. Like, there's a reason why his character in the Harry Potter universe is larger than life, because it's Kenneth Branagh. So Dr. Arliss
Shakespeare
Loveless.
acting.
Right. A couple other names we got in here. I don't really understand why Salma Hayek's in this movie, but I'm glad she is.
Well, there's a couple of things that the filmmakers want you to keep an eye on throughout the whole movie.
Fair enough. It had my attention. Buffalo Bill himself, Ted Levine plays General Bloodbath McGrath. Emmett Walsh
puts the lotion in the basket.
That's right. It was really dry in the desert, so I'm glad he knew what to do. Emmett Walsh is in the movie as paycheck collector U.S. Marshal Coleman. You got Bai Ling in the movie. I like her. I always have, as Miss May Lee East, and then just a couple of other choice. Like, I don't know who Sophia Ang is, but she plays Miss Lippenreader. Like, get it?
Oh yeah, because she can read lips.
She can read lips.
Again, nothing subtle about this movie, let alone Kenneth Branagh's performance.
Right, exactly. And then really the only other name in the cast that I recognized was future remake Jason Voorhees, Derek Mears, playing an uncredited metalhead. Really, that's it. That's it.
Yeah. Well, and I'll also point out that the director of this film, Barry Sonnenfeld, of Men in Black fame, of coming of age with the Coen brothers. He was there. I think cinematographer. For Miller's Crossing and Raising Arizona, and Blood Simple. So this relatively esteemed filmmaker did this clunker.
Yeah, he did. Made a ton of money. I won't say it kept it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, the budget for this movie was somewhere. Of course, they never factor marketing into the budgeting cost.
Probably doubled it when it all was said and
but
done.
the budget for this movie was somewhere between 170 and 240 million dollars.
Yeah.
And the box office was 222. So critically it's a bomb. I wouldn't necessarily call it a financial disaster.
It certainly didn't make what they wanted it to make.
No, it did not. It did not generate what it was intended to do. It was nominated for 8 Razzies and won 5 of them. So, one best or worst picture and worst original song.
Got something going for it.
Yeah, we're still really avoiding getting to the plot of this.
Let's jump right in, Oz.
Oh, can we?
Oh, yes, please. I've been on the edge of my seat. I can't wait to describe Wild Wild West.
Oh, you talked about this last week of school.
Yeah, kids would come to my office wanting to talk about career. Hey, can you help me pick my classes at the community college? No, we're going to talk about Wild Wild West.
Right. I got some jokes I want to run by it.
Buckle yourself in, kid. This is all the future you need.
I'm looking here at Wikipedia. Like, Elmer Bernstein did the music to this movie. Yeah. Like, they threw everything at the wall.
It wasn't for lack of creative talent.
You know what? I'm not even going to put it on Barry Sonnenfeld. I'm going to put this on the editor. Former Bears quarterback Jim Miller was the film editor of this film.
What do you expect?
Yeah, the man couldn't slice up a defense. What makes you think he'd be able to slice up the celluloid? So,
I think Cade McNown was the cinematographer.
Exactly.
What other late '90s, early Bears references can we make here?
Peter Tom Willis is the second. He's the best boy.
You beat me to it. Peter Tom Willis is best boy. Somewhere our late '90s Bears fans are smiling. Yeah. I have a feeling this is playing for an audience of one right now.
It probably is.
You're welcome, Don S. Yeah.
Hey, Don. So that's only if he didn't check out when we invited him to.
Yes, I heard my name. Done.
So
I'm just in it for the name recognition. All right, let's jump into the plot. We've been avoiding this enough. All right, we opened in 1869 Louisiana, Oz, and a flying circular blade is chasing a man who's wearing a big magnet around his neck. Yes, you heard that right. Mm-hmm. And Oz, the blade decapitates him. We start this PG-13 movie with a man being decapitated.
Yeah.
What a great summer romp. Bring the family. Mommy, Daddy, can we go see Will Smith? Sure, kids. Get in the station wagon. Oh, my God. A man with a small horn for an ear comes to collect the scientist's head. So why not?
It's Buffalo Bill. He likes his body parts. Like Ted Levine's got it in his contract. Yeah, I can only star in movies where I get loose body parts.
Loose body parts. We then get a very weird and kind of dizzying open credits montage.
Right.
It's like it just like the graphics department just decided to throw up all over the screen, and every graphic it come up with. Yeah, it was very busy. Very busy. We meet Jim West and a bosomy woman. They're getting frisky in a hot tub, which turns out is the inside of a water tower.
Yeah, okay. So good luck drinking. I don't think there's much of a filtration system either. So whatever they're about to do, I wouldn't drink the water for a couple days.
Yeah, if you live in that town. So Will Smith ends up nakedly beating up some bad guys who are stealing things. And we then meet an in drag. This movie, we're 5 minutes in, and this movie is already like groan worthy. And in drag, Artemus Gordon, again played by the aforementioned Fish Called Wanda himself, Kevin Kline, or as I like to know him, Mr. Fish Odor from the Bob's Burgers series.
Oh, yeah, that'll work too. Mm-hmm. I was going to say Mr. Phoebe Cates.
That's also a great reference. So Artemus Gordon turns down advances from General Bloodbath McGrath, the aforementioned Ted Levine.
His name definitely was more menacing than his presence. Like, there was at no point... Like General Bloodbath McGrath, yes, I realize in the long run he really was just a henchman, but he's supposed to... Like, they were dressing him up to be this, like, leader, and there was nothing about him that smelled like he led a gang. No, he was a henchman the whole time through.
Yeah, this guy would struggle to rally the troops. So we get that while the very bosomy Rita Escobar, Salma Hayek's character, sings in the background. The in-drag Gordon takes McGrath upstairs, and his fake, and I'm quoting how I typed this into my notes, his fake boobs are rotating in hypnotizing circles. They have those those white and black hypnotized circles.
Yeah.
So his fake pubes are doing that whole thing, and Gordon hypnotizes McGrath into being a dog and sharing who the other scientist is that they're after.
Yeah, the jokes just don't stop coming.
Nope. West busts in through the window to save the in-drag Gordon. West no-sells a punch from McGrath. It's like Hogan at the end of a match.
I was supposed to say it was very Hogan-esque.
Yeah, West hulked out and just no-sold a punch. West and Gordon then reveal themselves to each other. Outside, a female lip reader is telling Loveless, Arliss Loveless, the scientist, played by the very soft-spoken, subtle acting of Kenneth Branagh.
Right. You barely notice he's there.
What's going on? So as you said, Jim West is an Army captain. Gordon is a U.S. Marshal. The lip reader is telling Loveless all this. They're inside while they've already kidnapped Guillermo Escobar, Rita's scientist father. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Sometime later, West rides his horse right up to the White House and just walks right in. Puts
You could do that as a black man in the mid 1800s.
Yeah, a couple years after the Civil War and everything.
No problem.
So Jim West walks in and meets with who he thinks is President Grant. However, he quickly deduces it's actually Gordon in character again. Then the actual Grant walks in, as you mentioned before, also played by Kevin Kline.
Yeah.
Grant reveals that Bloodbath McGrath has kidnapped America's top scientists. He's threatening to take the country. How? We don't know.
It doesn't matter.
He's got some scientists. He's going to take the country, Oz, because that's how things worked pre-nuclear war.
Do you think the writers of this movie came up with the nickname Bloodbath and then fashioned a last name to write with it or to rhyme with it? Or do you think they gave him the name and then worked towards a nickname that rhymed with the last name?
I think they started with Bloodbath.
And then like, And
it took them weeks to come up with something that rhymed.
Well, and then I'm sure one of the writers was listening to Sugar Ray one day in the car and was like, McGrath, there it is.
There it is. Well, they originally cast Mark McGrath in that role.
Yeah. As Kevin Kline?
Yes, as Kevin Kline, yes.
But even Mark McGrath knows a stinker when he smells one. And he's like, I'm out. No, I've never acted a day in my life, but I'm out.
Mark McGrath was also the body double for Ted Levine in Silence of the Lambs.
Right. You're not putting me in one of the corners of my 4-post bed. That's a line from a Sugar Ray song.
Is it?
Every morning.
Oh, is it? Yeah, I paid no attention to Sugar Ray. They were terrible and are terrible. They played in McHenry. Last year or 2 years ago. Yeah, they played recently in McHenry. So yeah, we got that going for us.
Yeah, way to go.
Yeah, that's something. So, the top scientists have been kidnapped, Oz, and Grant dispatches West and Gordon, the 19th century odd couple, to stop McGrath, who's heading to Louisiana. Grant gives them his super train to use, Oz.
Yep. We've really gone backwards in technology since the 1800s.
The pinnacle of technology, especially steam technology, was the late 1860s.
Yeah. It really was.
Mm-hmm. It's been all downhill from there. So they're on the super train. Gordon is a master of gimmicks and inventions and such.
Master?
Sure.
Is he?
Oh, he thinks he is. Nice. So they have the head of the scientist from before, Will Smith.
Literally
quite literally there. And Oz, I don't know if you knew this, but scientific fact: if you run a light through the back of a person's dead skull, you can actually see the light come out of their eyes, and it reveals whatever the last thing they saw burns into the retina.
Yeah, it's like a screensaver on an old CRT monitor.
Yeah, and so the light projecting out of a dead man's head through his eyeballs.
Everybody knows that the lenses of your eyes are plasma, not LCD.
That's right.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Well, I thought everybody.
You know that screensaver. Yeah.
The head is empty. We saw Emilio Estevez blow straight through Kathy Ireland's head not too many months ago.
That's right.
So just putting a light behind the head, it'll work.
It works. Just trust the process. So they looked through the dead scientist's eyes, and the last thing they saw was McGrath and a note in his pocket, which they were able to zoom and enhance and see what was the address that was on this note.
Using early NCIS technologies, they could enhance. Enhance. That's all you have to do.
Yeah, just like Harrison Ford in Blade Runner.
We really have gone backwards in technology.
We have. And this movie proves it. West wants to charge right into McGrath's place. Gordon wants to go in disguise. There's a hilarious scene, Oz, of them talking about touching each other's breasts while debating what costumes to use to get in. And of course, Emmett Walsh, as the straight man, is like, what are these two men talking about touching each other's breasts? Is hilarious.
Great fun.
I was rolling at the floor, Oz.
Mm-hmm. I had to rewind it. I was laughing so hard I couldn't hear what they were talking about. I just knew it was funny.
Yeah, it was hilarious. Bubes.
Man, bubes.
Bubes. At McGrath's down in Louisiana, West gets in, talks with Miss East, played by Bai Ling, as you mentioned before. Loveless's assistant. And she reveals that Loveless is alive because I guess he was thought to be dead.
Yeah.
Gordon is back in drag again at the party because why not?
I think he enjoys it.
Yeah. Loveless reveals himself out of an exploding Lincoln head.
Yeah,
like a cake head, sort of something.
It's because the Emancipation Proclamation ruined his plans.
Oh yeah, Loveless is a bad guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they prove it on several occasions like that.
Mm-hmm.
We also see that he now
he's half a bad guy.
Yeah, as Jim West repeatedly points out.
Yeah.
So Loveless has no legs, and that's a running joke throughout the entire movie.
Well, not really. He can't run.
Aha! Set you up there for your softball.
Yeah, wrong kid died.
That was Middle Dewey.
Oh, Dewey, I didn't realize how easy it was to get macheted in half.
Dewey's got to think about his whole life before he performs.
Yeah.
So, as the joke is, West is seduced by East because Miss East seduces Jim. Whatever. Yeah. She dies because there's goons hiding and Jim West kills them all, and it's whatever. On the dance floor, West talks to a woman he thinks is Gordon by tapping on her bubes. There's a lot of bube talk and tapping in this movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Gordon, in character, yells that they should go hang Jim West.
Yeah. His partner.
Oh, then we get a scene of them basically going to lynch a black man, and
What color is Barry Sonnenfeld? Oh,
yeah, he's white.
Now, I don't want to jump to conclusions because I could be way wrong, but I'm going to read you some names.
Sure.
Okay? And you tell me, all right, just based on... No, we're not even going to play that game. I'm looking at story by two men and screenplay by 4 men.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd venture to say, of the 6 gentlemen, I bet most of them are white.
Yeah.
If not all 6.
I think that's a pretty safe assumption.
Yeah.
So the crowd runs off with West. Gordon ends up freeing him. They find a caged Rita Moreno, Salma Hayek, and they escape. So cool. A bit later, Loveless dispatches a big tank thing to kill McGrath's men because Loveless also doesn't like McGrath, I guess, and so he literally sends this piece of tech out to kill all of McGrath's men. McGrath goes to kill Loveless, who then kills them, because it turns out that, as you kind of alluded to before, Loveless is upset with McGrath and General Lee for surrendering at Appomattox and ending the Civil War.
Yeah. Jerks.
So West, Gordon, and Moreno, they kind of survey the damage. They come across dying McGrath, who says that Loveless did this.
It's Escobar. Yeah. You've called her Rita Moreno. You've called
her
Rita Moreno twice now.
It would have been better with Rita Moreno.
No, because I like Salma Hayek.
Okay, that's right. I did change it in my notes to Rita Moreno. That's something. You know what? I'm gonna keep with Rita Moreno here.
Yeah, what the heck? Everybody else is dressing up in this movie.
Yeah, why not? So Rita Moreno, Will Smith, and Kevin Kline
walk into a bar.
Oh God, that was How about that? Whatever. All right, so they come across a dying McGrath who said Loveless did this. He was also the one who slaughtered a free black village in southern Illinois. Marino says that Loveless is on his way to Utah. They get back on the super train. Then they argue about who Escobar, not Rita Moreno, is more into.
Yeah.
She stows away in the train, overhears Gordon talking about her chest and behind because that's appropriate.
Because it's funny. He was talking about it and she could hear him.
Uh-huh.
It's so funny.
We then see Escobar or Salma Hayek's half-naked butt through like a trap door behind pajama set.
Yeah, because that's funny.
Uh-huh. And a distracted Gordon says she's a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, because it's funny.
It's fun to objectify women.
Yeah, boobs.
But I'm an entitled man.
Wild, wild west.
Wicka, wicka, wicka. I think that should be our that's our through line. Then the next day, Loveless's trank whatever that the big
trank.
It's a trank that the trank is pursuing them at the train tracks. Let's see, a sexy underling is driving Loveless's train. And she says, I have them square in my sights as Loveless is right behind her looking at her bottom. And he says, as do I.
Wild, wild west.
Wicka, wicka.
This movie is so bad.
Oh, God, it's terrible. It's so terrible. So basically, they get captured, whatever. Loveless takes off with Rita Moreno. They put some of those magnet collars on Gordon and West, and they put him in this pen. And there's a big machine there that has a penis.
Yeah.
There's a big machine with a penis there.
And not the first penis of the movie either.
No.
But we'll get to that later.
Uh-huh. And so after they step outside of this pen, the penis machine ejects the two saw blades. So this is how the scientist died in the beginning. And so again, these neck things are magnets, and so they have to figure out a way to get away. So they're running through this cornfield in the middle of Utah because Utah's known for its cornfields.
Yeah.
And they end up getting the magnetized saw blades to collide, exploding these pieces of metal as they
full
jump.
Of gunpowder. These saw blades.
They jump into what is either a bit like quicksand or a very large pile of poop.
I think it was a pile of poop. I think at this point of the movie, the filmmakers knew what they had on their hands, and they're like, "Let's just go. Yeah. Let's just go heavy-handed with it."
Wild, wild west.
Big Hill, Big Will, Drew Hill.
The next day, West and Gordon walk in front of an awful green screen.
That was bad.
There was some really bad green screen in this movie.
There clearly was a budget for special effects in this movie.
Yeah.
And I'll even say some of the special effects were mildly cool looking.
Well, again, for 1999.
Yeah, completely impractical, but still that's kind of cool.
Yeah, there was some of it that wasn't bad. But yeah, the green screen was just awful. Just terrible. They find his hideout, and there's like an 80-foot tall mechanical like steampunk spider thing, which was actually kind of cool.
Yeah, it was that's all kind of cool.
It was a fun design.
Yeah.
The mech then attacks Grant at Promontory Point because he was there to celebrate like the railroad becoming transcontinental.
Right.
So they capture Grant. Let's see, Loveless Yeah, he's got Grant on the Mac. West sneaks onto the Mac, and one of Loveless's sexy henchwomen shoots West in the chest, Oz.
Oh, no. That never happens in movies. Ever.
Wild
I wonder.
West.
Wow. Shoot the black man. Woohoo!
Yeah.
I wonder if there was anything he had in a pocket that was going to stop that bullet.
Yeah, it's a good thing he had on Bilbo's mithril.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah. He had a Bible in his front pocket.
Yeah, exactly. Or Ned Flanders' piece of the original cross.
There you go. Oh, he's saved because he's supposed to be.
Yes, because it's Will Smith. You're not going to kill him that way.
No.
Later in Loveless's spider lair, he preaches to a group of people and foreign dignitaries. West wakes up in the field, again revealing he's wearing Bilbo Baggins' mithril vest.
Yeah.
Gordon says he's not going to, or Grant, I should say, Grant says he's not going to sign over the country, so they go to kill Gordon, who they've also captured at this point. Here in Oz, of all of the offensiveness that this movie has had to this point, and there's been a lot.
A lot, yeah.
Loveless is then distracted by an in-drag Jim West.
Yeah.
Who comes in with incredibly racist Arabian music playing.
Oh, very much so.
Complete with tassels on the front of the fake boobies.
I thought I was on the set of Aladdin.
West and Loveless then start literally barking at each other, because that's what one does when one is attracted.
In Arabia.
Yeah. And then West's fake bubes turn into flamethrowers.
Oh, yeah, that was the best part.
Uh-huh.
He's really got a strong back. Like, because obviously he's not a chesty man, but to be able to carry 2 flamethrowers on the front of his chest, Jim Chest.
Jim Chest.
Wild
West.
Chest rock hard.
Chest rock hard. I love that, Abe. So West and Gordon then take their time to build a flying bicycle, Oz, because
hey, the Wright brothers did it. These guys could do it.
So they could do it in minutes with a box of scraps.
Oh no, they didn't. Get it in a cave with a box of scraps. Yeah, it wasn't the Wright brothers. It was Leonardo da Vinci they referenced. Da Vinci drew this. Let's build it.
Yeah, in a matter of
box of scraps.
Box of scraps. In a cave. So they get on the flying bicycle. West and Gordon crash into the mech, knocking a sexy henchwoman.
No.
I know. But they
There's
get
a lot
caught.
of sexy henchwomen.
There are. And Loveless is staring at all of them. West then has to get in a knife fight with knife fight arm guy and spike head guy and and several racist comments about people doing martial arts, and I learned it from a man in China. But
it was funny.
Oh yeah,
it was funny because we're like the only thing this movie was missing was a laugh track.
Wild Wild West.
Wild
Wild West. So basically he gets out of it because that's what the hero does. West then makes fun of Loveless's ableness a lot.
But he's a bad guy, so it's funny.
So he had it coming, so that makes it right.
Yep.
No. Wild Wild West. Loveless pins down West. Gordon shoots Loveless's legs with a teeny tiny gun, and then I started thinking of you at this moment.
It's the noisy cricket he shot it with.
Yeah. West then starts yelling, "Shoot him! Shoot him! Shoot him! Shoot him! Shoot him!"
Absolutely, yeah.
Which I'm sure was intentionally a direct reference to Loaded Weapon.
Yeah, had to be. Had to be.
Come on, partner, shoot him! Shoot him! Shoot him! Shoot him! Gordon literally dances his way out of the way of punches from another sexy henchwoman.
So many of them.
West then makes more ableist jokes. Loveless makes racist ones, and basically, Loveless ends up falling to his death.
No.
Cut to Grant finally finishing the ceremony with the Transcontinental Railroad. He names Gordon and West as his first Secret Service agents, establishing a new agency in the government. Rita reveals that Professor Escobar is her husband, not her father. Ooh, Shyamalan twist.
Yeah. She's not her father. He's not her father. He's her daddy.
and she's also not Rita Moreno.
No, she's not Rita Moreno either. Newsflash.
West and Gordon then ride the mech into the sunset, and that, folks, ends the travesty.
Wild West.
Wiki wah.
Wiki wah. Wiki wah, Wild West.
At this point in the show, Oz and I each give our own unique rating to the film in question, in this case, Wild Wild West. Oz, how would you rate this gem of a flick?
I'm not going to.
No, it doesn't deserve
it. I give it, its rating is no. That's what I'm going to give it. No.
Just no.
No. What do you give it?
I'm giving it 1/2 of Kenneth Branagh.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah. That's all he gave us. So.
Yeah. Next up, we got Outside Insight. Folks, Oz and I have been scouring the interwebs, looking for unprofessional reviews that tickle our funny bones, and we hope they tickle yours as well. Wild Wild West. Oz, what is your Outside Insight for Wild Wild West?
My Outside Insight comes from Amanda on Letterboxd. Back in March of 2014, she gives it 4 stars. She says, I've seen Wild Wild West an embarrassing number of times. For some reason, it was the one and only bootleg VHS we owned when I was a kid, and I watched the H out of it. This movie is so GD stupid, and I just don't understand how everyone doesn't have a soft spot for it. I mean, a gigantic, terrible CGI robotic spider? Come on! That is so stupid that it can't not be BA. Plus, if you ever happen to find yourself watching it with me, you will have the pleasure of my flawlessly singing the end song and in its entirety to you, and you will enjoy it, because you don't want to see my hand where my hip be at.
That ended on an odd note.
Yeah, well, that's a line from the song. So.
Oh, okay, that's it.
Yeah,
which I
you don't want to see my hand. You don't want to see my hand where my hip be at.
Wicked
Wild West. What's your Outside Insight?
Thanks, Amanda. My Outside Insight is from the Internet Movie Database and from John Kuhn, left in April of 2004. So 5 years.
President Kuhn?
It is President Kuhn. Salute. Hail Kuhn. So John Kuhn, who I'm assuming is the brother of that person,
yes.
Says, by the way, this is an 8 out of 10 review.
Oh, fair enough.
8 out of 10.
I know it's a 4 out of 5, so samesies.
Wow, there are a lot of bad votes for this movie here. I thought it was great. It's a Will Smith / Barry Sonnenfeld movie. You can't take it seriously. The humor is perfectly subtle and dry at times.
All right.
A lot of subtle humor in this movie.
Yeah, this guy's name is Carrot Top, actually. Yeah. So, yeah, this humor probably is subtle to him.
If you want a lighthearted evening, rent this. Probably don't buy it, but rent it. Thanks for the consumer report.
No kidding, Consumer Report.
Yeah. For some reason, it says that here's the best. For some reason, it says that my review has to be more than 10 lines. So I'm throwing this in to make it work. Really, a review for a movie like this doesn't need to be this long, but I guess I'll just comply.
The first 8 lines are so cherry that I have to post it.
Yeah,
so
if it's not letting me post, I'm gonna meta type 2 sentences here.
Let me just fluff this so that I can get it posted, so you all know that you should rent, not buy this movie.
Wait. I am typing a sentence on the Internet Movie Database.
Bubes.
Bubes.
Oh my.
Thanks,
That's
John
a good one.
Kuhn.
I like that. No kidding. Thanks, John.
It could also be former Green Bay Packer fullback John Kuhn.
You know what? It's probably is him instead of President Kuhn's brother.
Kuhn, yeah. I always I both love and hate how in football games, whenever someone has a 1-syllable last name or nickname that has an ooh sound in it.
Oh.
Yeah. They're not booing, they're saying Kuhn.
Exactly. Yeah, no, they're not.
Finally, folks, it's that point in the show you've all been waiting for, the 3, 2, 1, our signature segment. Oz and I will each share 3 goods, 2 bads, and 1 about the film in question, in this case, 1999's Wild Wild West. What are your 3 goods for Wild Wild West?
My first good is Salma Hayek. She is just an absolutely gorgeous human being, and she seems to have a very fun, sensible sense of humor. And I enjoy Salma Hayek in movies because there are a lot of actresses out there that are just eye candy, but she really does have talent to back it up. So I just like Salma Hayek.
Yeah, she does have like a level of charisma that just kind of seeps through even in garbage fun. Like this. Yeah.
Yeah, and you can tell she's like, I know what I'm doing. This is fun.
Yeah.
2, when a movie of this size gets made, a lot of people get paid. So I'm glad that a lot of people got paid. So that's my second good. And my third
best boy Peter Tom Willis.
Exactly. P.T. Willis got paid.
Because by 99 the Bears had cut him, so he had to do something.
I'm gonna hitch a ride out to Hollywood and see if I can make it out there.
He was holding it up with his throwing arm.
Right. Everyone can see how strong I am. I'm clearly the best boy.
Wish the Bears thought that.
Wish Chicago thought I was the best boy.
For reference, for our non-football fans, Peter Tom Willis was, and let's see if my football memory comes in, was I think a 3rd round pick for the quarterback for the Bears in like 1992 or something like that.
Yeah. He was not the best boy.
No, he was not the best boy.
Yeah, Cordell Stewart was the best boy.
Yeah, Slash. Oh, what a failed experiment that was.
Yeah, well, we tried. So
we did.
My third is that this movie would be an excellent Civil War study guide. So if you forgot you had a test in your like 8th grade social studies class tomorrow, you could watch this movie and you might get something out of it. You got Ulysses S. Grant. You got Promontory Point, Utah. You got Appomattox Courthouse. Yeah. Like they did their research in Glencoe's most recent 1999 edition textbook for 8th grade social studies.
They cracked open Encyclopedia Britannica and the 1984 version, and
they totally did. Yeah, and so that's about as deep as they go. And so that's as deep as I went. This is my third good. This would be a solid Civil War study guide. You're not going to get an A.
No. This will get you a C.
Yeah, you could pass for sure. So what are your 3 goods?
My 3 goods. Again, we're really
I know.
In the beginning in the hot tub, I admit I chuckled a little bit when Will Smith, he was like Army corporal or whatever. He's making out with sexy woman up in the hot tub / water tower, and he hears the bad guys coming, and there's like a hole for him to look out, and the woman is like, she really is into the moment,
right?
But he has to check this out, and so he's just kind of making like kissing faces like at her, and just kind of keeps doing it even though she's nowhere close to his face.
Yeah, he's not remotely interested in what she's offering. Well, he is, but not as interested as the bad guys outside the water tower. Yeah. It was kind of it was probably the most Fresh Prince of Bel-Air scene in this movie.
It was a very Fresh Prince kind of moment. It's like Will watching for Uncle Phil to pull up in the driveway or something like that.
He's just making the like exaggerated facial movements. It was fun. And then he's like, wait a minute, I'm a serious Hollywood actor. Well, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my first good. My second good, the steampunk spider mech was pretty cool. I will say. It was a fun design. The way it worked and operated. And, and even for 1999 level effects, it was good enough. Yeah. So kudos to the effects team behind the 80-foot spider mech. My last good is near the end when West is fighting knife arm guy who's shouting racist things. Gordon earlier in the movie had installed a tiny knife that would come out of the toe of West's shoe.
Like in Roadhouse.
Yes. And so the knife arm guy is doing the thing where he's like waving his knife arms around. And then Will Smith he ejects this like 2-inch knife that's sticking out of his shoe, and he just kind of waves it back. Yeah. I maybe smirked a little bit.
It was like, okay. Self-awareness.
Sure. Okay. So that's my last good, Oz. What are your two bads? I'm sure you had to think really hard about this for Wild Wild West.
My first one actually came really early. The super, super long James Bondish opening credits.
Yeah, that was a bizarre opening credit sequence.
It felt like a Bond movie, and I understand that he introduces himself as West Jim West, but that's not the same as Bond James Bond. So cut the Bond. Like I'm watching it, I'm like, is this like a late '90s James Bond opening sequence I'm watching here? You know, it was just, that's how it felt. So really long. But again, I think the the people working on the opening credits are like, we really got to drag this out. Maybe we can help some people by letting people get up and leave because they're tired of watching this, and we'll save them time. My second is slavery's not funny. Like,
no, it's not. Slavery's not funny.
Really like. Unfortunately, it is to some people, and those kind of people I don't want to know. So I'm glad you didn't find slavery funny either.
No, slavery is not funny.
If you're listening to the show and you find slavery funny, please unsubscribe and go watch or listen to some other podcasts. So,
yeah.
What about you? What are your bads?
Oh, my bads, Oz. I'm just gonna kind of broaden it to, this movie is incredibly racist, misogynistic, and ableist.
Did we watch the same movie? I didn't get that from this film.
This movie is awful. Awful. And it's not I mean, it is a terrible movie, but like, it's terrible message as well. Like,
on a sensitivity level.
Yeah. It's funny to make fun of disabled people. It's funny to make fun of women. It's funny to pretend that we're gay.
And we've talked a lot about movies we've covered from the 80s that now leave that bad taste in our mouths, and we don't give them a pass because they were the 80s.
No,
but we do recognize that was an era where things were a little loose. This is 1999.
Yes, they knew better.
Yeah,
and definitely chose to do this.
Yeah, and paid a lot of money to do this.
Ugh. Yeah. So yeah, there's that. My other bad, Kenneth Branagh. Oh my goodness. That like, he dialed it up to 11 and then some. That was unnecessary. I mean, he's smart enough to know that, like, he shouldn't have accepted this role in the first place. But
he and Tony Hopkins, I think, were roommates.
Yeah, he put out his best Tony Hopkins face. Went to the Tony H. School of Acting.
That's right. He got a scholarship, full ride.
Kenneth Branagh, you could do better than this. All right, Oz, hey, what's your one?
I have two huns. My first one takes place in Promontory Point, Utah. You have President Grant addressing the crowd who is facing him. And when President Grant turns around and sees the gigantic mechanical spider coming through the desert, everyone who was facing that direction originally reacted in terror. That spider was visible before before Ulysses S. Grant turned around. So how did no one see that giant mechanical spider until he turned around? That's my first time. My second one is, and I'm going to put this on former Bears quarterback Jim Miller. Why was Will Smith's Fresh Prince not edited out in the opening scene of this movie when he and his woman were in the water tower and the water tower comes crashing down and Will Smith falls? There's a frame, maybe two, where he's dropping into frame completely nude. Camera where you can see that he is completely nude.
Big Willie style.
Yeah, like, we're talking 2 to 3 frames max. Edit that out. Like, you didn't accidentally, I didn't even realize that was there. Sorry, Wild Wild West. Like, right. Oh, so that's my second is, why did you not edit out the microsecond of full frontal nudity of Will Smith
in a PG-13 movie?
So
that's my second. Miami.
Bienvenido, ami. Oh my!
Yeah,
parents, we just don't.
We just don't understand. That's
No.
why we find no humor in it. Yeah,
no, we're parents. You know what though? When it touches back, like even in that song, he talks about picking up a 12-year-old runaway, and the things that you know. She put her hand on my knee. I put my foot on the gas. 12-year-old runaway. Will, ugh.
Yeah, we should have known. We should have listened.
The writing was on the wall. All right, what's your
I got a couple possibilities. I'm gonna go with as Loveless was dividing up the country with like the foreign dignitaries and other people there, kind of towards the end. He says, like this part goes to this country, this part goes to that country. I'm going to keep this section. And he says that that Mexico will get like Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona. This movie's set in 1969. Arizona did not become a state until 1912.
Yeah.
So apparently they didn't go to the other section of the Encyclopedia Britannica.
No. They just stayed in the Civil War guide.
Yeah. They didn't deviate from that.
No.
I'll also say, how long did it take Gordon to build that flying machine with a box of scraps?
Tony Stark did it in the cave.
A box of
scraps. It does not even apply to this movie, but I'm so glad you did it. Oh, and then the man he was yelling at turned out to be Ralphie from A Christmas Story.
Yeah, exactly. He was yelling at Ralphie. Poor Ralphie.
Yeah. Peter Billingsley.
Yeah, he built that really fast.
He did. He had a plan.
Well, I mean, he did say he had the idea before, but like, he just found a bicycle wheel sitting out there in the middle of Utah.
There it was. Well, somebody tried to go to Promontory Point. Their bike broke down. They didn't have a super train like, despite the fact we don't have Transcontinental Railroad yet, we have super trains.
Super train. The next Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, Super Train.
Yeah. What was that name of that Wesley Snipes movie about a train?
I immediately thought Passenger 57, but no, that's an airplane.
Money Train.
Money Train, there we go.
Yeah. Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes. Mm-hmm. White Men Can't Jump.
Yeah, part 2.
Yeah, Money Train. It's like Speed 2 Cruise Patrol.
All right, well, folks, that's 1999's Wild Wild West.
Yeah, we're going to be back next month. We're coming back next week, and we are going to double down on the Deuce.
Although at least I have a soft spot for next week.
I do too.
It's bad, but it's not like it's not offensive. Like
I will say I will say next week's movie of the 5 we're covering this month is I enjoy the most.
Yeah.
It's
it's
probably
terrible, but yeah,
it is terrible. But it came out way before the rest of them. Mm-hmm. We were young, and I know we were in that demographic. We are going to cover next week Masters of the Universe. We're going to the He-Man world. We are. We're going to cover He-Man and Man-at-Arms and Teela and Skeletor.
Mm-hmm. Evelyn.
Fisto.
Fisto.
Skunkor.
Skunkor. I have them. They say that like was it? Scent is like the memory that's most
your olfactory memory.
Yeah, is the sense most tied to memory, and I still remember what Skunkor smelled like.
He smelled bad. He smelled like skunky plastic.
Hey, Mattel, I've got an idea for you. Listen up. Here's my pitch. Let's make another He-Man villain, and let's dip the action figure in an awful smell.
Yeah.
And then we're going to market that to kids.
And we're going to sell it at the regular price of all the other toys. Yeah. So,
I bought it.
There was... I had
Skunkor in my house. What other rodent-based villains could they have made?
I don't know. They had Moss Man.
That's right. Yeah.
Battle Cat. What was Skeletor's? What was his purple cat's name?
Purple Puma.
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 Yeah, but there was Battle Cat, of course, and I had
it's like
I
cat,
had a
cat
lot,
o' nine tails or something.
Probably. I had a lot of He-Man action figures, but I never did have Castle Grayskull.
I had Grayskull. I was fortunate enough to have Grayskull. I did not have Snake Mountain.
I did have Snake Mountain.
Didn't it have like a megaphone you could talk into or something like that?
Yes, yeah. It was one of those, like the vibration spring in it, to where that's really all it did, was make your voice vibrate through the spring. But I was still.
Well, you could pretend to be Skeletor.
I could have, yeah. I clearly was not thin enough to be confused with a skeleton man, but I was more I was more built like the guy who had like a barrel. He could jump. What was his name?
Was it Ram Man?
Like, Ram Man, yeah. I was gonna say, it was coming to me.
It's like a Mega Man villain.
Yeah,
Ram Man. I think he roomed with was it Fan Man or whatever from Mega Man 2? Yeah,
Ram
Man. Airman. It was Airman.
What a terrible action figure the He-Man lineup was. Like,
some were great, but some were just like
Ram Man was literally like one hunk of plastic, bottom hunk of plastic.
Yeah.
Ram Man could easily be confused with like the WWF action figures, where they were just like spring loaded. That's what Ram Man was.
Well, I don't think he had like arms or legs that articulated either.
No, he literally was just two hunks of plastic that you could like
with a spring connecting them. Yeah,
rather rubber band between them. I also switching over to WWF action figures. I had a lot of those too, and I had the wrestling ring. And I remember sometime like mid to late grade school, I come up with the genius idea of, I'm going to have wrestling matches, but instead of using like my He-Man figures or my WWF figures, I use my G.I. Joes because they had articulating joints.
Oh yeah,
I could get a lot more done in a wrestling match with my G.I. Joe action figures. So
Colonel Flint with the Hurricane Rana.
Watch out! Here comes, what was her name? I'd have women matches too.
Scarlet takes down Baroness with a hip toss.
There she went.
There's an arm drag.
Watch out for Destro. But no, we will be back next week to cover Masters of the Universe, the Dolph Lundgren, Courtney Cox vehicle.
I started watching it earlier today, and he's clearly still learning English.
Yes, yeah.
Although he is jacked. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, like
jacked.
they definitely picked a man who could have been a human.
He looks like
human He-Man.
Yeah. Oh, what an enormous dude he was. Well, it still is, but like, he's. Yeah, this movie is so much fun. It really is. It's terrible, but it is dumb fun.
Yeah, you got Frank Langella as Skeletor coming from the
Tony
Hopkins school of acting.
Although you can tell he's going over the top on purpose. As opposed to Kenneth.
Yeah, Skeletor was like.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Billy Barty.
Yeah, Billy Barty's in this one. So he was also in UHF.
He was. This predated UHF.
And on the other podcast, Education, that I do, we just covered a movie called Dust Devil that I had never heard of nor seen before, but somehow it was in my movie collection. And the woman who plays Tila, Chelsea Field, she was also in Masters of the Universe. She was also in Commando.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she was one of like the radio... Yeah, or she was one of the flight attendants. She played Vicky, the Western flight attendant.
Oh, okay. Yeah. The one who, like after Schwarzenegger snapped that guy's neck.
Yeah. Don't bother my friend. He's dead tired. But yeah, I think they made a good choice with Dolph Lundgren as He-Man.
Yeah, he looks the part. He doesn't sound it, but he looks the part.
No, but I mean, in '87, like that was about the time where people were all roided out or whatever. Yeah. But no, he doesn't sound the part, but he definitely looks the part.
Could have cast Lex Luger in that part.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, Lex Luger would have been a solid
with his bionic forearm.
Right. So, Bad movie. That's why it fits next month, but a lot of fun. Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot he was in it too. I forgot James Tolkien is in it.
Yeah. Everybody's favorite principal.
Right. And author of The Hobbit.
Yep. He was also that. Jack of all trades, real Renaissance man, that guy.
Yeah, he's been around a while. Well, he was in he was in Back to the Future Part 3, and they filmed that then. Like
that was an authentic shoot.
Yeah, right.
Back in the old West.
Yeah, he's been around a while. So, but no, we will be back next week for Masters of the Universe. I am looking forward to it.
Yeah,
this movie is it's bad, but it's fun. Unlike Wild Wild West, which was
just bad and not fun.
And not fun at all. So you can find us on social media: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. There's also a link to Patreon down below. Drew a blank. Look at this. The month is already sucking the intelligence out of my head.
I'll blame it on Wild Wild West.
It's Wild Wild West. But yeah, so Patreon, if you feel like being a patron, we'd appreciate it. And
toss it a couple of coins into our coffers.
Right. That's right. So, and the Courtney Cox. This is pre-Friends Courtney Cox. This is more Bruce Springsteen dancing in the dark.
Correct.
Courtney Cox.
Yeah, closer to that Courtney Cox, not Friends Courtney Cox.
Yeah, not even close. Like Meg Foster from They Live is in this movie. Yeah, so they really did do a great job with the casting in this. Yeah, because they had to find somebody to carry Dolph Lundgren in it.
Yeah.
So when was Rocky 4?
I think
85.
Was it 85?
Yeah.
I thought it was a little later.
I just looked 85.
Okay. Masters of the Universe was 87, right?
Yeah. So there's a reason why Dolph didn't speak much in Rocky 4.
I was pretty cute.
Yeah. He does. All right, well, that wraps up another episode of Let's Talk About Flicks. Next week, Masters of the Universe, social media, already said that. We'll see you next week. I'm Oz.
I'm Curtis.
And have a good one.